What's up, y'all? Welcome back to part two of episode 149. We will not be unburdened by what has been in this episode. We have a presidential debate going on right now. Are you going to check that out when we get off of here?
Yeah, I checked out a little bit of it before we started and during the break. So
Yeah, I did.
also I was gonna say I want to take something back I said on the previous installment of this episode. I said Tyreek Hill was apparently doing 110. Apparently he was only doing like 70. So of course then again that information's from Twitter, so take it or leave it.
Yeah, I've seen lots of things. Speeding, not speeding, not complying is what got you in handcuffs. So just simply complying would have that would have de-escalated the situation. Um, but yeah, we said what we said about it. Everybody's going to have their opinion on it one way or another. No matter what happens, like I said, you've already made up your mind one way or another, whether you're being honest about it or dishonest about it, just to I don't know fit your narrative if you have one of those. But I don't know. It's what it is. I'm glad nobody got hurt either way, and Tyreek Hill got to play, and I mean showed out on top of that.
Yeah.
But weird situation either way. All right. Touching back up on the Rams and Lions. A heck of a game. Was as fun to watch as the playoff game was between the two of them. Of course, this one went to overtime. The Rams were just gassed. You could tell. Lions were just stuffing it down their throat with David Montgomery in OT on their way to punching it in for the win. But you could see how bad Stafford wanted that game. He
Yeah.
wanted the postseason game. You could see how bad he wanted this one. I mean, dude is an absolute just gamer baller. But I love it for Jared Goff. Jared Goff was just the other guy. He was just the guy that got thrown into the trade pot. Like we
Hmm.
want Stafford here, you can have Goff. And we all thought Goff was going to go to Detroit, and that's where his career would die. Goff has just lifted himself from the ashes and has become the guy in Detroit and loved in Detroit. I mean, just the Jared Goff chants from a packed stadium. Or yeah, it's pretty cool to see. It's pretty cool. It's fun to see the Lions good and to be that energized and enthusiastic about their team. And also, I've heard lots of bad. I've never been to Detroit. I've heard lots of bad things about it within the last 10 years, and I'm sure certain portions of it are run down. I have seen photos of that, but seeing the camera view from outside the stadium, I mean, it looked pretty nice to me from everything that I saw. Just an observation as far as Detroit goes. So, but it is cool to see the Lions good at football and competitive. And I mean, do I think they're winning the Super Bowl? No, but do I see them in the mix? Absolutely. Yeah, just a game that didn't disappoint on both sides. Uh, hate it for Puka Nakua getting hurt, as we touched up on in part at the end of part one. Also, the Rams were on like their third or fourth tackle going into game one. They weren't healthy on the offensive line. And they don't even
Yeah.
play starters in the preseason. Sean McVay's like the first guy to not play starters in the preseason, and somehow all their offensive linemen are hurt, like
Yeah.
both of their tackles. It's wild. So they were dealing with that. So Sean McVay had to really earn his money with the play calling, and Stafford with his play. And I mean, both guys did that. I mean, they put on a master class of how to compete in a football game with or making chicken salad out of chicken crap as far as their situation goes. And they were still competitive, almost got the win. A Sunday night football game that didn't disappoint. What I was disappointed in was Monday night football and the New York Jets. Jets had one good drive, really, on their scoring drive. Garrett Wilson, a big part of that. That was about it. It was pretty much 49ers after that. No Christian McCaffrey. Didn't matter. Jordan Mason stepped in and they didn't really miss a beat. Kyle Shanahan kept taking the points in fourth and short situations and field goal range because I think he knew. I mean, he didn't see them as a threat. Uh, the Jets, that is, as far offense, as far as coming down and matching their scoring, and they did. It was. I didn't expect the Jets to win that game. I mean, the 49ers are the better team, and they
Yeah.
should be the better team. But I wanted to see something better than that from the Jets and their offense, and even their defense. I mean, their defense wasn't very good either.
Yeah, it was a little surprising to see their defense, wasn't hitting on all cylinders like it was last season. But yeah, I don't think anybody outside of New York thought that the Jets stood a chance. The 49ers have been a really good team for the last couple of years, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. But yeah, I did not mind seeing Moody kick all those through the uprights since he is my fantasy kicker, and he balled out.
Yeah, the kicker that stood out to me as far as balling out was Brandon Aubrey, Dallas. Uh, say what you want about Jerry, Dallas looked really good um, against
I was
against
really hoping they were
Cleveland.
going to let him try that 72-yarder at the end of the half, but they
Aubrey,
didn't. Yeah.
I didn't even see that. Um, I mean, it wouldn't have surprised me. I mean, why not? I mean, the guy's as good as pretty much anybody in the league at this point. Uh, Dallas looked really good on both sides of the ball. Zeke looks like he's resurrected a little bit.
Yeah.
Not like
He looks
2013
2 or 3
Zeke.
years younger.
Yeah,
So,
he looks a lot better. Where it's kind of weird seeing him in number 15.
yeah.
That was his college number, right?
I can't remember back that far.
I believe so, but still, so not that weird, but still kind of weird. But I mean, they look good. Dak looked good. CD Lamb looked good. I mean, the guys that got paid looked good.
He spent all that money on that chain a year ago for 15. He's not going to change his number because then he'd have to buy a new chain. So
Yeah, I
that's my
guess
reasoning.
I could be right there. Um, so yeah, good, fun week of pro football. I got to sneeze. I think. Let's have golf with Brad real quick while I try to work this sneeze out.
Yeah, okay, go ahead and work it out. PGA season is officially over. We are now entering the off season. There was some big news last week. I think TBS, who does the match, or is it TNT? I can't remember. They announced a new match, and this one will be pretty fun to watch. In mid-December, I believe it's going to take place. It'll be Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler versus Ryan or Brian DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka. So Live versus PGA, we're finally going to get to see it. I'm guessing it's all going to be for charity, but it'll be fun to watch.
Who is Brian DeChambeau?
That Bryson DeChambeau, sorry, you know what I
And
meant.
you
Get
said
out of here.
Brooks. You said Brooks kept his name weird too. You
Yeah,
said like Kopka or something.
I mean, Kepka, Koepka, they say it different. Whoever's talking, so I
Okay,
don't
I've
know.
only ever heard
Maybe I
Kep.
had a minor stroke. Who knows?
I
But
mean, it happens. It probably happened to
yeah,
both of us one day.
Bryson DeChambeau
There you go.
and Brooks Koepka.
I thought maybe he had a twin brother or something. I don't know.
Nah,
All right. Well, the sneeze went away as soon as I said golf with Brad. Like went away like as soon as I did
yeah.
that. Which
You,
figures.
you didn't want to miss any of that exciting news. I understand.
I wanted to make sure we got it in because we really needed that information to get our views up for part two. Our part twos never do as well as part one, so I'm glad we saved that for part two of this particular episode 149. Okay, let's talk some fantasy football. All right, so you're in two leagues. How did your teams do this week?
They both won pretty handedly, I might add. So
All right, I also got the win. I was projected to get the most points of anyone in my league. I did not, but that's because Christian McCaffrey, my number one overall pick, didn't play, and I didn't have anybody to sub him because it was the Monday night game, and I basically had to rush at work just to get home in time, just so I could be home in time for the game. And by the time I got settled in, the game has started, and I'm like, oh, he's not even playing. But I was up like 24 points, so it was no big deal. I was like, okay, good, sit, get healthy for next week
Yeah.
when I need you. Um, Guys that I had that had a big day, Mike Evans, Cooper Cup, looking like the Cooper Cup from a couple of years ago, 2, 3 years ago, when he was the Triple Crown winner as far as receiving goes, most catches, touchdowns, and yards.
Yeah.
Without Puka Nakua, that's going to happen. So we can probably expect more of the same as long as Stafford stays healthy, and Cooper Cup as well. Knock on some wood there. Yeah. So if you got Cooper Cup, start him. If you're not, then that's a heck of a receiving core you have. But definitely start Cooper Cup. He is a definite wide receiver one at least over these next 4 weeks, I would imagine. Other guys, Baker Mayfield, he's available in my league. If you're,
Oh, yeah,
if
you're a 10-person league. Forgot.
yeah, probably not in yours, 14. But are
Yeah.
both of yours 14-person leagues?
One's 14, one's 12.
Okay, still, yeah, Baker Mayfield is available in my league. Probably will not be this time tomorrow. I would imagine somebody will pick him up. I won't because I have Patrick Mahomes. I have no need for another quarterback. Um, I'm certainly not going to snag him and just sit him on the bench for all but 1 week till week 6, which is when the Chiefs have their bye. But yeah, that's going to be a hot waiver wire pickup this week. I have two that I am hoping I get. I highly doubt I get both of them, but Isaiah Likely should be the top priority pick for anybody needing a tight end. He's number one on mine. Of course, he had 20 something points in my league. Showed out even without the touchdown at the end of the game. Had 20 plus points. Looks like he's kind of stepped in, at least in this game, with Mark Andrews not doing as much. Of course, he's coming off that injury from a season ago.
Yeah.
But Isaiah Likely looked like the number one, but I feel like it's one of those situations. It's almost like a Patriots situation when they had Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. One is going to have a great week, and they'll probably alternate. Like they'll switch off doing that. So Isaiah Likely will be a good get to have and a good tight end to have for some weeks, but I also think there's going to be weeks where he doesn't do anything. Agree or disagree?
I would agree with that. Yeah. I think they're still trying to, ease in Andrews, but yeah, Likely. Heck, for all we know, he could be going off every week. He looked really good.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, he's not available, I don't think, in either of my leagues. So
he's
womp
available
womp.
in mine, but he won't be tomorrow, one way or
No.
another. This time tomorrow. Jordan Mason, the other that I am trying to acquire. Of course, me having McCaffrey, getting Jordan Mason as a handcuff, I think is a good idea.
Yeah.
Plus, there's not really anybody else that stands out. Alan Lazard is available in my league. That would probably be one that I pick up. Now, he got a touchdown in garbage time, like with Tyrod Taylor in the game Sunday night, or excuse me, last night, Monday night. But he still had a touchdown. With Aaron Rodgers playing and then, trying to compete and get the win. So that could be a good ad. Um, as far as that, I didn't really see anybody that just really stood out. I mentioned everybody that I would want if I needed somebody at that position.
Yeah.
Any come to mind that I missed?
I don't know. In 10-person league, maybe what's his name? Xavier Worthy. He might still be available. I think he
Oh
had a
no,
oh, does he not?
he got drafted in my league. He got
Oh, did he?
drafted. Yeah, not high, but
He,
no, he
he
was
got
taken
drafted
in the
pretty
draft.
late in both my leagues, so I was just saying he might still be available. He had a pretty good week. Um,
Yeah, he did.
not a whole lot of, like I said, not a whole lot of others stick out. There were a few that had a couple of were a couple of stinkers this past week for some big names. One being Travis Kelce. I'm glad I did not keep him in my keeper league. I think he had 6 points on the matchup. And another stinker, which I do have, is Metcalf, DK Metcalf. I wish I would have known they were going to be a run heavy offense before the draft, but I think that news broke out like a week after that draft happened. So DK only had like 6 points as well. He might have only had 5, but they're pretty run heavy first now. So
Another reason I had no interest in Justin Herbert, because Jim Harbaugh taking over, run heavy, run the ball, play defense, play great defense, run the ball effectively. Herbert, I think had like 124 yards or something like that passing. So he's those 4,500 yards per season days are probably over with Justin Herbert, but the Chargers are going to win more games
yeah.
in turn, which if you're just a Chargers fan, you'll take that.
Now I was completely shocked that crap, his name just left me. With tight end for the Falcons, everybody's been big on him for the last
I'll
couple of
pick.
years. Has entered, yeah, he finally got a touchdown in the first week. I think he's averaged like 2 touchdowns a season, and he's supposed to be a game changer since he entered the league, and it just hadn't panned out. I was one of those suckers that had him on his team 2 years ago, and he didn't do anything for me. I learned my lesson then. Haven't drafted him since, but it was good to see him score a touchdown in the first week.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins didn't look very good from what I saw highlights.
He didn't look very comfortable back there.
Anthony Richardson had a hell of a throw that
Yeah,
for a touchdown. I, of course, have been on this show saying I don't think he's going to pan out at this level just because of his style of play. He's got all the talent. I just don't think his style of play will translate to this to the NFL or to where he will be able to basically stay healthy long enough to be a player in this league, an effective player at least. But yeah, we saw his arm talent, as they say, Sunday. I mean, heck of a throw that led to a touchdown.
yeah,
Probably, I mean, had to be the throw of the week, right? I don't know. Stafford had some really impressive throws Sunday night, but
yeah. He
yeah,
was breaking out the no looks, man.
yeah. Mahomes and Stafford are like the two guys that can do that, and even Rodgers to an extent. But I mean, it's I don't know. Stafford, I'm almost as impressed with him now as I've ever been, and he's a surefire Hall of Famer in my book. Super Bowl champion. I had it in mind. I was drawing a blank as who else kind of had a disappointing week. If you're still wondering who the better quarterback is between C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, I think that's a wrap. It was a wrap last season as far as I was concerned, but man, it should be now. Man, the Panthers look
They
bad.
looked bad.
A lot of people were like high on them coming into this season. They're like, they
I
lost
don't
a
know
lot of
why.
close games. They lost a lot of close games last year. But I was like, yeah, you still lost. And they've not gotten better. They've not gotten any better. I didn't understand that. And we saw that I was right in to that extent, based on what we saw Sunday. It's a long season though. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, my big waiver wire pickups that I'm hoping to get Isaiah Likely, Jordan Mason. You need a quarterback. I would go snag Baker Mayfield. Quarterbacks, it's really not hard to get a quarterback. The teams that I've had the most success with, a lot of times I didn't draft a quarterback till real late
Yeah,
because you can
unless
get
you're getting the top 3, like you know, Allen or Lamar or Mahomes, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it drafting them until rounds 7, 8, and 9.
yeah. And I got my again 10-team league. I think I got Mahomes in like the 5th round. And of course, I had back-to-back picks being the number 1 pick, so I'd get consecutive picks. So yeah, I got Mahomes like early 5th round or like into the 4th. Well, one of those two. But yeah, I mean, I know I'm set at quarterback at least, but you can still get a really good quarterback even just as an undrafted, free agent. I didn't see how the Jags did, but I mean, Trevor Lawrence is available in my league. So,
He really didn't put up the
um,
numbers last year. He had a couple weeks where he did, but yeah, he's not going to give you the 25, 30 point games. He's going to give you like the 17, 20 point games.
yeah, that's true. He was trajecting upward after his rookie or second year. I don't even know what year this is for him now, 3 or 4. But he really looked like he was going to be like the next elite quarterback, or at least in that elite class. Not saying the best, but like in that elite company. And yeah, it was a down year last year, no matter how you look at it, for Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. Um, but another guy, another team for that matter. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals. Talk about, I mean, a disappointment. I
I
have
was
a
going to
lot of
say, how did we not talk about them?
yeah. I had Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow last year. Of course, that was a big disappointment. Still
Yeah,
made it to the semifinals in my league without Joe Burrow. But it is a lot easier to replace a quarterback. But if you're losing Joe Burrow, that's going to naturally take Jamar Chase's value down too. So I mean, if you lose a quarterback, you're losing value in other positions too. That's why Justin Jefferson wasn't taken high in most drafts, or at least as high as he normally is this year. Although he scored a touchdown, this past week. Sam Darnold looks like I mean, he's been in the league like 7 years now, and he's finally kind of figuring out how to play quarterback in the NFL. It's hard. It's hard to play quarterback in the NFL. But
yeah.
Joe Burrow and the Bengals, very disappointed to see that. That was the first game
He,
on that
he
I got.
better not have blonde hair this week. He better change that immediately. Uh,
Yeah, it's not working for Joe. Um,
no.
it's worked for it's worked for him, and it worked for Eminem. It worked for it's working for Cody Rhodes, the current WWE champion, but it's not working. It's not working for Joe Burrow. I only say that because I saw like when Joe Burrow like revealed his hair, Cody Rhodes had tweeted something like "Finish your story," because that was his big thing as on his way to the winning the WWE championship. All right, well we'll back off wrestling now. Um, All right. Anything to add? Who's the top pick? Who's going to be the top pick in your league as far as the waiver wire goes? I mean, you even know?
No. Jordan, what was his name? Jordan Mason or Jordan?
Jordan Mason. Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Mason.
Backup
He would
running
be
back
it.
for the Niners.
He would be it.
Well, that's who I'm trying to get. He's number 2 though on my priority list. So Isaiah Likely, yeah, I'm hoping that goes through. I will be very surprised if it does. We'll see how it goes. I'll either be really happy about it
You ain't
tomorrow,
getting
or
both of them.
no, I'm not. I'm not going to get both of them. If I do, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to get both. All right, so if I don't get one or the other, I'm probably going to go after Alan Lazard though, because Tyler Conklin and Cole Kmet did nothing. I mean, they were about as worthless as can be,
Yeah.
fantasy wise, anyway. All right, let's move on to some other stuff. Let me talk WNBA for a sec. The Indiana Fever get another win. They beat the Atlanta Dream in overtime. I actually tuned into that game between it was Sunday. Yeah, it was I believe it was Sunday. But yeah, I tuned into that game between like the Cowboys and it might have been the Sunday night football game, or between some game. I tuned into overtime. Fever got it done. So another win for them and Caitlin Clark. They are 2 games over 500. So yeah, Fever trajecting upward. We're using that term a lot today. Trajecting. Um, sometimes it's appropriate. Did see Angel Reese is out for the year with a wrist injury. Um, so unfortunate for her. She does have a new podcast out called Unapologetically Angel. I believe it's I think Shaq hosts like the podcast company that hers is going to be run through. I'm sure she's going to get a lot of listeners. She's got a fan base that's a very passionate fan base. Any chance that you check out Angel Reese's podcast, Brad?
No.
Same. All right, moving on. Okay, we've done golf with Brad, but in other news, sticking with women's sports, Alex Morgan, I guess she is considered legendary status for the U.S. women's soccer team. She's been a heck of a player for them for a long time now. She is officially retired. She is pregnant with her second child, but she officially retired from soccer, checked out in, I think, the 13th minute of their league game. I don't even know what league it was, but she checked out, got quite the ovation. So, congrats to her on a great career. World Cup winner, Olympic gold medalist, all that stuff.
Just seems like yesterday she was the new kid on the block, man.
Yeah, and yeah, now this is it. I'm gonna go be mom, I guess. Just focus on that. So good way to walk away, I
Yeah.
suppose. Pretty good legacy to leave behind. So shout out to Alex Morgan. Congrats on a heck of a career. And I guess less fortunate news. I saw that I hadn't heard Adrian Peterson's name in a while. I
No.
didn't realize this. The last time he played in the NFL was 2021, but saw today a headline. He owes $12 million in debt. He was forced to turn over a lot of his assets. A lot of his assets, I guess the government came to his home and seized a lot of stuff. He owes $12 million in debt. I read some of the article. He took out like a $5 million loan, $5.3 million loan, something like that, and just the penalties and things like that, and not paying it off, has turned into like almost 8 million. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so it's $12 million in debt for Adrian Peterson, a guy that I know running backs
What
haven't
did he
made
do with
money.
all that money?
That's the thing, man. So many athletes. I mean, we've had 30 for 30s on it. So many athletes. They play like they're going, or they spend like they're going to make that kind of money for the rest of their lives, and you're not. Most NFL careers last 3 years. If you're in the league 10, I mean, you're like 1%. Adrian
He made
Peterson
a
is an all-time great.
he made $103 million off of NFL contracts alone. That's not including his endorsements or anything else. 103 million.
And here's the thing: when you make that kind of money, and you probably don't come from, I don't know his situation, but I mean, a lot of these athletes come from nothing, never had anything, family never had anything. So you make that kind of money, you feel the need to take care of everybody. Suddenly your friends, expect to be taken care of. Um, and when you start handing out money like that, people, they expect that regularly, and I mean, well, the quickest way to decide whether or not you need somebody in your life is tell them no when they ask for money.
Yeah.
See how long they stick around then. Not many will reach out to you again. But yeah, that's wild. I mean, save your money. I heard Larry Bird talk about uh, past teammates of his that weren't making near the kind of money he was. Were buying all these cars, expensive watches and clothes and things like that. And he would tell them at the time, like guys, you need to save your money. I mean, you're not going to be making this forever. And I mean, these are guys that making far less than he was. And to this day, he says or he has said that a lot of those guys will ask him for money. And he says it breaks my heart every time, but I tell him no, which is what you should do.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, save your money, guys. Chad Ochocinco has talked about it. He was like, all my stuff is knockoff. Like all my stuff is
Yeah.
knockoff. I don't have to spend money. He said he lived at the Bengals training facility for years. Just live there. I mean, save your money. You're not going to make that kind of money forever. You're lucky. You're lucky to be in the league for 10 years. Most guys are in it for three tops. So, man, save your money. Hate that for Adrian Peterson, but save your money. Um, all right. In other news, more positive note, my Arkansas Travelers, the Little Rock Minor League AA club, they are back in the postseason, second year in a row. I think it's two in a row, maybe more, but two that I know of. They will host the Springfield Cardinals next Tuesday night, a week from tonight, in the divisional championship round. At least one game will be played. I think it's just one game that'll be played at Dickey Stevens. But if they win that, they advance to the league championship series, which they'll host two games if necessary. So shout out to my Travelers there. I was at their game Friday. Had a rain delay, but I still got my nachos, and I was in the seating to where I was just covered by the awning. So even when it was raining, it was just missing me. So I got to just chill and eat my nachos and watch a dude break it down on the tarp to keep the crowd entertained. So that was pretty cool of them. Also, I was checking the MLB standings. We're nearing the postseason. Nothing's really changed except for the New York Mets. They have slid behind Philadelphia, who's got the best record in the National League. Mets are now, who've always kind of been right at or right below 500 as of late. They're 79 and 65. So 14 games over 500 right now. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. So I don't know what's gotten into the Mets, but heck of a run they've been on. The only baseball like Major League Baseball I've watched recently, I flipped it over to like the um, Astros Diamondbacks game when might have been a commercial break and football or halftime or something. Justin Verlander got lit up, dude. The Diamondbacks have a very fun offense to watch. If you just want to watch dudes crush balls just on repeat, Arizona Diamondbacks are the team to watch. I think they scored more runs than anybody in Major League Baseball. But they lit dude up. Reeled off 8 runs in 3 innings. It was a quick night for Verlander. I don't feel too
Okay.
sorry for him. He gets to go home to Kate Upton every night.
Yeah. Hard to feel sorry for that guy.
Yeah,
But
he's
I,
doing just fine.
I do see that the White Sox are up to 113 losses on the season.
I did not check that. I don't know how many games are left, but it's I don't think they're going to quite get the
Yeah.
record for most losses, but they're pushing it.
Yeah. And man, they've been losing them in some interesting ways here lately. They had one last week where 3 guys ran into each other trying to catch a fly ball in the shallow left. That's pretty hilarious.
I mean, that's a very White Sox thing right now as far as this 2024 White Sox team. It's the one Major League Baseball World Series ring that I got to see and wear was a Chicago White Sox World Series championship ring from like 2005 or something, whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Far from that now. They're on a 14 game home losing streak. So
Yeah, maybe that scout that let me wear it no longer works there because it's been night and day from that team. That was still one of the coolest feelings in the world, though, to
I'll
wear
bet.
a series championship ring, like a legitimate one. Like it was
Yeah.
very neat to do. Okay, well, my dog's acting like he needs to go outside, and plus I've got two portions of this show to upload, so I'm gonna go do that. And I guess I'll watch a little bit. I'll find the presidential debate on Max or YouTube or whatever it is, and check it out and see what all the fuss is about. But anything to add, Brad, before we get out of here?
Nope. Nothing from here.
I think we covered just about everything. Lots to talk about. We'll be back next week with lots more to talk about, football and more. Till then, because well, no, we're not quite nearing October yet, which is when everything comes together. But we'll have plenty to talk about, I'm sure, with Razorback football. They'll find something for us to talk about, and of course the NFL, and then some. But until then, we'll get out of here. I'm Graham Powell.
Brother Brown.
Deuces, y'all.
Peace.
I think I got it right that time.
All right.
Hopefully that'll continue. All right, we're out.